I've already done a video explaining the circumstances surrounding the Mario ROM hack and all the files that came with it, but there's a specific piece of that puzzle that always attracted more attention than anything else. The frightening image. The image bundled with the hack and converted into a text file, and believed to represent victim number 1. In fact, this image is probably the biggest reason why the original hack and creepypasta ever became so popular in the first place. There's something unsettling about the way the face is contorted, and its apparent connection to the otherwise barely changed ROM hack gave off the impression that there was something much more to the story. But despite the fact that this image has come to be known as that creepy image from that one Mario creepypasta, something that was realized not long after the hack was posted is that the image actually existed on the internet well before the late 2010 ROM hack was made. The image first appeared on the internet on October 19th, 2009, in a thread that was posted to 4chan's paranormal board, X. The poster claimed that, every night, the image appeared in the upper right corner of his desktop. He said he couldn't find any information about it online, and that his antivirus scanners didn't detect anything. The image's file name was a string of numbers. Within the next 24 hours, the thread exploded with activity. Other people posted to say that the image appeared on their desktops too, and some people even said it showed up on their iPods or other devices. Some people also discovered the "Find me, find me, find me" that appears when you load the image in Notepad, which creeped people out even more. The original poster later updated to say that MP3 files were also being generated on his computer, with broken up file names that, when put together, created the phrase self-bondage. I don't have archives of these sound files, but they apparently consisted of complex noises and sound channels that included someone saying, "Your flesh. You remember your flesh." Stevie Wolf even weighed in on the discussion and tried analyzing the sound files himself, convinced that there was something really unnatural about the way the audio was put together. After the thread went on for about a day, however, the game was revealed. Several users did Google searches for the numbers in the file name, and discovered that it's actually the MySpace ID of Common Man Down, an alternative industrial metal band. Their debut album was being advertised under the name Self-Bondage, with the lead single called Your Flesh. Once people started realizing that this was most likely a viral marketing stunt, they visited the website commonmandown.com and discovered that the site at the time was nothing more than the image. It turns out the phrase "find me" wasn't just some random creepy message, it was egging people on to track down the band and their website. The thread turned into people shaming themselves for falling for the prank, but just before the thread was closed, the original thread's creator posted one final time. He revealed that he was Jordan Davis, the lead vocalist for Common Man Down, and he started the whole thing as an experiment to see how long it would last, and whether or not anyone would be creeped out by his work. He created the image by taking a random photo from the internet and heavily distorting it in GIMP. The thread was soon closed, and the whole incident didn't gain much more attention. But, as we all know, the image was repurposed for the Mario creepypasta a year later, which brought much more infamy to the image. The rest is history, but one more question remained. Just what was the original image? Who was the photo of? For over 10 years, the answer to this question was only guessed at. An extremely common theory was that it was a photoshopped image of a mango or some other fruit due to the seemingly inhuman shape of the face. It was also often spread around that the image was a screenshot of a movie character, such as The Grudge or the woman from the Ring franchise. There was even one theory that it was this photo of Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear, and for some reason, people were extremely passionate about this one. Seriously, I would often see people get super heated in arguments about this being the one, even though the two images clearly look nothing alike. Within the past couple of years, a misunderstanding led many people to believe that it was connected to a chain letter, because of this video from the YouTube channel Chainmail Chasers. This has nothing to do with it, though. Chainmail Chasers is an ARG created by Ebola Granola, and the video that the narrator claims to find isn't real. Everyone had their own theories and ideas as to what the image actually was, but things didn't start really speeding along until Midnight Krick began a more persistent search effort in early 2022. In April, he contacted me since he'd heard about my involvement with the Mario creepypasta and wanted to find out if I knew anything. I told him that I thought I remembered reading the original 4chan discussions a long time ago, and seeing someone confirm that it was this hidden ghost from Fatal Frame. In hindsight, I shouldn't have even mentioned this. You don't need to look that closely to recognize that this image doesn't really match up either. But unfortunately, by the time I realized this, it was too late. Krick had already posted a video confidently sharing my wrong information, and the conversation was even more muddled with more incorrect theories. Whoops. Sorry about that. Fortunately though, I didn't completely waste his time. I recalled everything else I knew from the thread and told him about Jordan Davis, and I even realized that I knew how to contact him using information that was provided on the band's old website. I sent Davis a message, and here's what he had to say. The original was a Japanese girl in makeup. If I recall correctly, it was from a black metal type photo shoot. I had found it randomly on Google Images years ago, and cropped and edited it to hell at the time. So the Fatal Frame lead, and most of the common theories, had been disproven. But once Davis became aware of the search, many new leads opened up. Krick continued going back and forth with Davis for a while, gathering more information about the image and how it was modified. From his memory, the woman in the photo was wearing gloves and had her hands on her face. She was also standing in front of a green field during daylight. He remembered finding the image by doing a Google search for something along the lines of creepy Asian, and he didn't actually do that much to distort it. He remembered messing around with the contrast and brightness, and maybe used the shaping tool or the smudge tool to distort certain parts of the face. The last thing he did was save the image to a Nokia phone and then send it back to himself so that the compression would make it look even grungier. After a year of on and off searching around on our own, with no dice, Krick created a Discord server in early 2023 to gather more interest in the search. Davis's information proved to be very useful, and it helped us narrow down what to look for. After a few more months of various users poring over photos of black metal artists and screenshots from horror movies, the user K.T.B pointed out that the hair and makeup style of the image very closely resembled Kyo, the lead vocalist of the Japanese heavy metal band Dir en Grey, or Dir en Grey. And after almost a month of searching the internet using this new lead, it was finally found. On September 1st, the user God, or G-O-D, discovered the following image. The similarities were obvious, so I sent this photo to Jordan Davis, and he immediately confirmed with 100% certainty that this was the image he modified all those years ago. People quickly went to work playing around with the photo and showing off how closely they align. Most of the specific details match up really well. The lines in the upper right corner of the image perfectly line up with the glare from the gloves. The black shadows below the nose line up perfectly with the position of the fingers. And the hair, eyes, and nose are all perfect matches as well. The only thing that still looks off is the mouth, which appears more open in the red image, but this might have been the thing that Davis altered manually while he was distorting the image. The victim image also lacks the makeup on the forehead, but that part is so small that it may have just been erased by the Nokia compression. Either that, or it's something else that Davis deliberately covered up, maybe to make it less obvious who the photo was of. The mystery was solved. So where did this photo come from, anyway? Well, after a bit of reverse image searching, it turns out that it was first posted here to Flickr on February 25th, 2007. It was taken and uploaded by Jesli Kizan, a photographer from the Philippines. The photo was captured the same day it was uploaded, and was part of a set of photos taken while Kizan was in the Harajuku district in Shibuya, in Tokyo, Japan. Harajuku is an area that used to be known for its cosplay scene, so it was once common to see people walking around in outfits like this. As far as I can tell from reading the comments below the image, Kizan himself doesn't actually know the woman in the photo, but she was wearing Kyo cosplay and was posing for other photographers as well, meaning that there might actually be other photos out there of the same woman doing similar poses from other angles. And really, that just about wraps it up. As of writing this, all of this was discovered literally just yesterday, and I'm still a little shocked by it. I've known about this image ever since it first became popular, and I have vivid memories of being frightened by it and wondering what it was. So this discovery is basically a conclusion to something that has haunted me for more than half of my life. That is insane. I want to give a huge thanks to everyone who helped with the search, and especially to Midnight Krick and those involved with this hunting server. Though the biggest thanks, of course, goes to Jordan Davis himself, not only for starting this whole thing so many years ago, but also for joining in on the search effort. Without his guidance, we may have never found it. And that's all. I've seen people speculate on the origins of this image ever since 2010, and after 13 years, it looks like we can finally put it to bed and rest easy. I hope this discovery is satisfying, and I hope you all have a lovely night. Bye-bye.